Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! So, if you couldn't tell by that, I am doing my review for Halloween 3. So, Halloween 3 came out in 1982, right after the second movie, but it takes place differently from this timeline. Speaking of which, before I get into this review, after this upcoming review, I am going to do the franchise in a different order because I want to do something a little different with this channel. I love the Halloween movies, but I want to do that a little differently. So right after this Halloween 3 review uploads, I'm probably going to do my Halloween H2O review just so I can get Resurrection out of the way because who can really stand that movie? And I'm also doing this review for S. Lee Greer, Entertainment Fanatic Reviews. I gotta give it to you, man. I love this movie a lot more than the last time I watched it. This movie is really underrated, so let's get into it. So Halloween 3 stars Tom Atkins, Stacey Nelkin, and Dan O'Hurley as Cochran, and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. So the movie starts off with the man being chased into a particular gas station, which gives us the best jingle, as I was just playing, if you can hear it. But later on that night, he's brought to the hospital when he is suspiciously murdered in a vicious way. Dr. Dan Chalice and Ellie Grimbridge, the daughter of the victim, team together to investigate his murder, which gives sudden clues of Silver Shamrock's involvement, which wraps them up in a pretty tight mess. Yes, I'm trying to keep this spoiler-free for those people who haven't seen it just because they just don't want to watch it. I'll get into that in a moment. So let's get into my positives and my negatives. I like the fact that Halloween was going to be an anthology series. Those of you who are diehard Michael Myers fans, please do not tear my head off. I love Michael Myers as much as you do. But that'd be interesting to see because I'm sure, I do love Michael Myers, as you can see. I made my own shirt. But it would be tiring seeing the same story over and over. It would be nice to have something a little different. So I do like the fact that this movie was its own originality and it has its own timeline. Nothing's canon, anything like that. And that's what really got me curious. What other anthology movies would we have gotten today? Or if it would have still went on today, what would those ideas have been? I think Tom Atkins and Dan O'Hurley deliver a brilliant performance. I thought Cochran was really creepy, and that's really fucked up for him to be doing that, for wanting to kill all the kids just because Halloween. And I do love the subtle hints to Michael Myers, where the guy at the beginning, where they find his car and he's driving a station wagon, subtle reference, sorry about that. And there's also the trailer that plays. I just love that's a little homage to the Halloween movie. And the Thorazine, not a lot of people will recognize that, but the same drugs that Dr. Chalice recommended was the same drugs that Dr. Loomis recommended in the first movie, if I remember so correctly. And overall, I think the characters are likable, and there's nothing really jarring about the movie like people say it is over the years. And also, there are great effects. Some of these effects have aged, but for me, that's not a problem at all. I'll still have enjoyment for the movie. And now we're going into my negative territory. Sometimes the jingle got kind of annoying, but to me, the reason why the jingle played throughout the movie was to signify how powerful Silver Shamrock is in this world. And then I still think Cochran's death was a little weird just because he turned into a paper mache something and then just vanished out of thin air. I just thought that was a weird death. I thought he would have gotten something a lot better compared to the woman who was fidgeting with the Silver Shamrock thing. That was just gruesome and out of nowhere, but it was a great effect and I loved that. Oh yeah, and my last negative is there was no Michael Myers. I'm just kidding. That's really no reason to hate this movie, even though it's called a Halloween movie. Like other viewers have said, it's really an underrated movie. I would definitely watch it each Halloween if I could, which I probably will now that I have all of them. And not only that, the Blu-ray on it is amazing, but that's where it brings out the not so great quality of it, where you could see some of the effects, how wonky they are. But overall, I still love this movie. I saw that it had scored a 4.6 out of 10, which is terrible. I give this movie at least a 7.3 out of 10. It's really not bad if you just sit down and give it a chance. And like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to get started on that H2O review. Peace.